Donald, the first question for you. Why taking the risk of bringing back such an iconic movie, topic, theme, and turn it into a series? That was a risk.
Yeah.
Turned out really good, but that was a risk.
I feel like I like to underpromise, overdeliver. Like I feel like if people have
That's gonna stay in my head next time. Okay.
yeah. Like if you I feel like people, I knew people would hate just the idea of it because people loved the movie. So
There was
like
a lot of backlash.
yeah, of course.
Yes.
Which I think is good. I think like if it's good, it's kind of like almost like this is a very strange thing, but like Disneyland or Disney World, I study it a lot because I just am obsessed with like Disney in general. But they do a very interesting thing with like fear and joy, where it's like there's a mixed thing where it's like if you're scared, you enjoy it more because you're subconsciously excited that you got out of it. So it's very important to, I feel like with this, like Fran, when I first asked her, she kind of was like the same thing where we were like, should we do this? But I think that's what kind of makes it more enjoyable. We knew we weren't going to do it the exact same way. If we were to do it the same way, you know, people of course get upset. So I feel like we were allowed to do what we wanted because it's not the same premise. But the feeling, it's about something else, and the feeling is still there. It's the core stuff that you like about Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is in it. Relationships and spy stuff, blowing stuff up.
Can I say something? And it's not meant to be like a knockdown of the movie, but I feel like people get really upset, and I totally understand about remaking movies and classics that we love. Like, if someone were to say they're going to remake The Godfather, that'd be atrocious.
Yeah,
you don't remake that because it's a masterpiece.
Sin. That would be a sin.
Whereas, like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's not that it's not great. It's just, but it's not like something you can't touch, and it has already been remade. Like, that wasn't even the first version.
Yeah.
So I do feel like when it's certain IP that can have different iterations of it, then, you know.
Also, you want to redo it for. I feel like if there's a piece of it that speaks to what's happening now, that's kind of what you want.
True.
Like they redo Romeo and Juliet every
Yes.
because I'm like every couple of years it's like there's a different way to do this now. But people still fall in love. People still like have warring families. All these things still speak. The core of it is still the same.
And Maya, again, you know. We're talking Angelina Jolie. It's like there's no other woman in this world prettier than that woman.
No,
my God, you
yes.
know. And so, but this version is actually the underdogs to people that are probably like lonely and they find each other, but they were pretty lonely to begin with. So it's a total different perspective on you know who they are. So how do you take that? How do you prepare for the role?
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't even try to replicate or try to be another version of Angelina Jolie because I just don't think you can, right? So I would say no. Please don't ask me why are you trying to make me look like a fool. But instead, it was like you mentioned, it was a reject version of that character in a way, and I'm always drawn to those kinds of characters, people who feel like they're on the fringe of society and they don't quite belong and they are looking for connection, and that was so present in Jane. You know, she's someone who's very lonely and she isn't really capable of trusting people, only her cat, and so to be matched up with someone in a world where it's all about trust or you die, that was such an amazing premise and such a great character study. So I loved jumping into that, but it was challenging for me to play someone with guards up right away.
I was thinking like I have a theory also too. It's like, you know, Angelina Jolie, when that movie came out, it's like you couldn't see that all the time. It's like she's her and Brad Pitt are like very like kind of unnaturally like gorgeous.
Yeah.
And now we have the internet and you can see all of that all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I feel like the relationship between us is really the thing that like is what people I hope are like getting out of this, because like that's the hard part now. Is like a relationship is like you can always go to the next person and find a hotter person, or find somebody you think is better. But I feel like our relationship is like the hot thing, where
and
it's like
we can't get out of it unless we die.
Yeah,
Like,
unless we
that's,
die.
you know,
Like, it's the trust thing.
And talking about trust and talking about relationships, what is your relationship from when you started to now? How that has changed? No, I mean, I imagine you feel way more comfortable. The friendship is different.
Oh, sure.
I mean, the episodes kind of went in order.
It did. So the beginning,
Oh.
we shot the first episode first, which was great because we were just getting to know
Just
each
awkward.
other.
We didn't really know each other.
Good.
Yeah, so it lended itself well to the chemistry on screen, and then, but then we jumped around. I feel like so we filmed the third episode way later, and we were very comfortable with each other by then, and it was like, wow, we're a couple
I know,
now
like-
in this because we were so like joking around, but yeah, I felt like we just felt like old friends pretty early on.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice.
Yeah.
But it was good to like film that first one and we really didn't know each other.
Yes.
And then slowly like, be able to be super comfortable by the time we shot the last episode.
Yeah, even Hiro, who directed the first episode, and then he came back for reshoots at one point, was like, the vibe is totally different.
Yeah, like-
It's,
yeah.
It's just logical, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's like you're getting to know somebody. Period.
Yeah.
You know, it's now any special training, any physical challenges.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You went even further than me, I feel like. You
I
got
just-
like Marvel ripped, and I didn't.
Ooh.
I didn't. I just wanted to. I also had the advantage of me and Fran were
Donald, who was the director in the first one?
Oh, the director in the first 2 episodes was Hiro Murai.
That's why they took your shirt off, because you were rich.
Yeah, like
Yes.
Don't be humble.
No, like-
Let's.
So, come on.
Well, but I was just saying, I knew it was coming. I mean,
You
like
knew
we
it was
wrote it, and I was like,
Okay.
okay, like a year before, I was like, that's what I'm
You
saying. I had an
started early.
advantage because I was like, I know this is coming. I'm gonna start
All right,
jogging.
but don't
I
be
had
humble
just-
about being ripped, because you were.
You are. I had just had a baby, and so for me it was like a lot
Yeah.
bigger of a
We
jump.
talked about that when
You did.
because I was like, I know you just had a baby.
like, are you sure you wanna
do you
do
sure
this?
you want to do this? Because like my wife had just had a baby, and I was like, I know how tough that is. That first year is just
It's
like
tough.
It's really
And-
and your body's like
body's
still
so
like
different.
like still yeah.
like,
I was like, so do you
go
want to do
through
this?
a
And she
car
was like
accident.
really down and. To do
Yeah,
it.
because it was an undeniable yes for me. But yeah, the challenge of working out after all of that, and I wasn't really someone who like strength trained or did any of that, so I like definitely made me freak out internally. Like I cried at first because I was like, I'm not going to become this person. I'm not going to be a gym rat. Like what? And then I started getting stronger, and I fell in love with taking care of my body,
feels
and
good.
I felt like I had to at least get strong to be able to believably play this person, but I didn't have to get like superhero, abs.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Oh,
you.
It was so lovely talking with you.
Thank-